What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the K&J Podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and today we're joined by a very special guest, Bruce Bradwell. The man himself, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Subway Philly cheesesteak is a real thing.
Damn right. Better watch your mouth how you say it wrong.
It is real.
It is real. A legendary item of the world. The ninth great wonder of the world.
But why are you so, set on, how a Philly cheesesteak should actually be, bro?
Because it's just it's one of the pride items of Philadelphia, you know?
Just known for their cheesesteaks.
There's no compromising in your Philly cheesesteaks. Just like if you go to Chicago or New York and you talk about the pizza, it's going to be the same way. It ain't just no regular pizza. It's New York or Chicago style pizza.
So if someone here in Washington was like, hey, you gotta check out this place, they have the best Philly cheesesteaks.
I might accidentally on purpose slap their lips.
Why?
Because I've been to so many cheesesteak places the first 5 years I was here, and I was let down every time. They had weird stuff. It didn't make sense. They was calling Philly cheesesteaks, so like Quiznos, I'll never go there again.
It's funny because I think we were talking about Quiznos at work one day, how they're non-existent. But I actually saw one here in Washington, which was really bizarre. I haven't seen a Quiznos in years.
That was the first time I ever been to Quiznos. It was here in Washington.
Oh, okay.
And they had Philly cheesesteaks, bro. They had some garlic butter on the rolls. They put it through this little conveyor belt, the meat. I was like, what the I almost blew the place up. I never went there again. I boycotted them.
You boycotted them?
That's why they out of business now.
Oh, because of that?
Me.
It was you?
Yep.
So, Philly cheesesteak, I've never had one before. I've never been to Philadelphia. So what actually is comprised, what makes a Philly cheesesteak a Philly cheesesteak?
It's just the ingredients themselves, man. A lot of places do it differently, but ultimately, the original is, steakums. That's the meat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a French roll, French bread roll. You know what I'm saying? And it's the cheese whiz. Some people like the cheese whiz. That's the original. And
wait,
then,
spray cheese?
No, it ain't no can, man. It's out of jar.
Oh, wait, they make it in a jar?
Yes, out of jar. And then, or some people like American cheese with peppers, onions, and all that stuff.
All right.
So I'm just a meat and cheese kind of guy myself,
No, okay, all right.
Salt, pepper,
I feel
ketchup.
you.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned kind of pizzas earlier. Me and Captions had this debate earlier. I want to get your take. When I say, hey, I just want a pie, get me an original pie, first thing that pops in your head?
Cheese pizza.
I'm not even going to go on from there because that was the last podcast. I'm sure Captions was here, he'd be hyped up right now.
Bruh. Unless you specify what's on the pizza, a regular pie is going to be cheese.
I
that
strongly
just makes
disagree.
sense.
Because we even did a search, because he was like, cheese is more popular than pepperoni. He was saying that.
It's not even about popularity, because a pepperoni pizza is pepperoni pizza.
But don't you also say a cheese pizza? Hey, I want a cheese pizza.
If I say a cheese pizza to anybody, I'm not going to get no pepperonis.
I mean, yeah.
All right, then. So, a pie, a regular pizza pie, is no toppings, right? Which makes that what? Cheese pizza.
All right. We'll move on from that. All right, so it's 2019. Avengers Endgame is going to be coming out.
Hey.
How excited are you about that shit?
Super, because if they do my man, the Hulk, wrong again, I swear to God.
What do you mean?
They've been doing my man, the Hulk, wrong this whole time, having him looking all soft out here.
Oh, because he got pieced up by Thor.
He didn't get pieced up. Thor got his ass whooped.
And then he got pieced up by Thanos.
Thanos was cheating.
How?
He had the glove.
He didn't use it.
He had godlike powers.
He did not use it. If you go back, he did not activate any of the Infinity Stones.
Anyway, my man Hulk wasn't scared of him. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
It's a conflict it's a beef between him and Bruce Banner that's going on.
Oh, yeah. That's what I've been hearing. The directors are saying, the Hulk is, since he was in Ragnarok, he was Hulk for almost, I believe it was a year or so. Like he was
Yeah.
just in Hulk form. So that's why in Ragnarok, like he was more aware. He was able to like communicate things like that, which
Right.
we've never seen before. We've never just seen the Hulk. We've always seen Mark Ruffalo, and then Hulk comes out just to hit things.
Right.
So was that maybe the reason, like why he was like, you know, like I'm tired of fighting these battles for Bruce Banner? But you know, why would he go in that direction? Like,
So the thing about the Hulk is he despises Bruce Banner because he feels he's too weak. He's too weak to do anything. So the Hulk is like, man, just let me take over, let me do this, and we won't have no problems.
yeah,
So the new beef is that, you know, the Hulk was doing his thing the whole time, and then Bruce came out, and then he only wanted to use him,
oh,
just
okay,
to
for his,
use
like,
him,
personal
just
gain,
to you know fight or whatever. And the Hulk's like, man, I'm a whole being, you know. I'm not just a sidekick or nothing like that. I'm a whole person, you know.
yeah.
Not just a
Because you're a huge Hulk fan,
damn right.
It's Hulk, and I believe Wolverine's like a close second, right? All right. So out of those two,
Hulk all day, man.
Hulk all day.
Hulk all
Do you
day.
feel like he's a little bit overpowered? Though?
Not at
like,
all.
It's just like,
It's not like he can't lose. It's not like he's never lost because
Mm-hmm.
he's lost. He's been, but the thing is, he adapts. So
Yeah.
once you do something to him, you can't do it again.
is
the
that
thing.
kind of why, like in Ragnarok, like whenever Thor hit him with that lightning, like since it was such a shock, but since it happened, that's why it didn't really affect him later on.
Not so
or-
much because that's like a natural element, and you can't really adapt to something that strong. But I mean, like the Hulk's been hit with atomic bombs, nukes,
Jesus.
fucking. He's been blown up, thrown into the sun, all kinds of stuff, and he always comes back. So
Jesus.
it's nuts. His
Like,
regenerative power is stupid.
because I think, because how was it that Hulk came like to actually be? Because I thought it was like something like they were working with a super soldier serum that they used for Captain America, so
No,
they mixed
no.
that with gamma radiation or something.
So the original experiment was with gamma radiation. They were testing it for military purposes, whatever. And Bruce Banner was in there with his partner. I can't remember his partner's name. Rick, I think it is. Rick something. Anyway, they got locked in. The experiment started going south, and Bruce Banner pushed Rick out of the way and took the full brunt of the gamma radiation.
yeah,
So that's the original Hulk. That's what he, dumb Hulk, just, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
just happens out of anger. He can't control it, nothing else. But then from there he evolves to Gray Hulk, which is bigger. He becomes gray and not so much more smarter or anything. He's just more aware of things, of himself and things like that. And then after Gray Hulk is when they introduce the super soldier serum to him, because Bruce Banner was trying to recreate it for Shield, but he was secretly trying to use it to help himself get rid of the Hulk.
oh,
But
okay.
instead, it evolved the Hulk to where like anything that happened once won't work again because his
Okay.
body evolved.
Yeah.
Evolved. Like he can breathe underwater because of it. His
Jesus.
lungs, he got knocked underwater. His lungs adapted. He can breathe underwater.
Jesus.
He can breathe out in outer space. Like
It's so man.
there's a book where Tony Stark put him in a hyperbolic, or not a hyperbolic chamber, but like a gravity chamber, and he turned it on to where it was the pressure of another planet or whatever, and his body adapted to it. His bones got denser, his muscles got bigger, he got stronger just to adapt. So
It's kind of weird.
yeah.
So 2019, I feel like it's gonna be the year where a lot of great movies come out, but a lot of great disappointments too. Like, what's one movie that you see like is gonna be kind of popular, but you might see as like disappointing? For me, it's gonna be like the not Captain Marvel, but Shazam. So the reason why I'm like kind of iffy about that movie is because it is played to be not really a serious movie. Because if people don't know who Shazam is, DC character, it's a little boy that has magical powers to where he could turn into a full-grown superhero that almost matches Superman in some instances. So like, there's a lot of hype about that because he's really not that known of a character, to be honest. And like, it's kind of like very childish whenever you look at the trailer. So, you know, what movies do you see coming out that are going to be kind of like that?
I'm not too sure. I haven't really I mean, I've been following the regular ones. You know, all the Marvel movies coming out. They all look exciting, so I'm excited about most of them. I haven't seen too many that I feel is going to let down. Besides all like the scary movies or whatever.
Oh yeah, scary movies always
They always
kind of
let
do
you
let
down.
down.
So.
Yeah, but because I know Spider-Man: Far From Home is gonna be coming out. Saw the trailer for that.
Yeah.
Looks amazing, but it's like kind of spoiler alert, Marvel a little bit.
I hate when movies put too much into the previews because it's like you just watch the whole movie right there. You don't even got to see the movie.
Yeah, and
Piss me off.
Because either way it'll be interesting because a lot of people out there know like what's gonna kind of happen in Endgame. Not very specific, but you know like at least whenever you saw the Far From Home trailer, you know who's like survived because it's post the snap, whatever. So whenever it's like people see that like it just ruined the end game, it's like no, not necessarily, like because you know these characters survive, but you don't know how they get to that point. So that's kind of what makes it exciting. But as a prediction, like who do you think is not going to survive this next movie?
Well, the original people that died, obviously, that actually died,
like Loki and Gamora.
Yeah, those guys. I don't know, cause all the main characters are definitely coming back for sure.
Yeah.
My man Black Panther, you know, all those
I know
guys.
he just came out.
Right, he just got his old joint, bust open the box offices, and they kill my man off. It's like the black dude in a scary movie.
Yeah.
Just gotta kill him off. Come on, man. So, yeah.
It's funny because like, did War Machine survive, right? So it was gonna be like all the black people died because Falcon, you know, if ever did Black Panther. It's just so funny, but like, you know, my guess, because everyone for a while has known that Captain America will eventually be killed off. Like, I believe Chris Evans, I think his name is. Like, I know this is gonna be like his final contract with Marvel, and then he's gonna be done with the character.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting because a lot of people are saying like the main people that started off the very first Avengers movie, so like Black Widow, Hawkeye, all of them are gonna be the ones that are probably gonna die off, like sacrificing themselves in some way. And these new movies like Black Panther's Spider-Man, all those are gonna be the people that take over the MCU.
The new Avengers, and all that, the young Avengers, or whatever. Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting, but I'm really excited to see who the new big bad will be for the revamp of Avengers or whatever. Because I've been hearing rumors that it's going to be Galactus.
He's not going to be the big bad, but he's going to be like they did in Fantastic Four. Like how he was a big deal, but like there's no real way to show him. Maybe they'll do a better job with showing him this time. I don't know.
I want to see a good Doctor Doom. Like he's like I would argue like one of the most impressive supervillains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, he starts his own fucking country.
And like because he's kind of on par with like Lex Luthor for DC. Like, you know, he's just this guy like no matter what you do, you can't even still beat him, even when you do beat him.
Right.
There's always like a contingency he has. He's just like so powerful of a character, so it really didn't do justice. Like the very first Fantastic Four that came out, I felt really wasn't that bad. Like it had issues, but it wasn't terrible. But the revamp was horrible.
I mean,
many issues.
It was good for what it was. I mean, I like the characters themselves. It's just they changed the story so much. It was like,
and then like the director,
hard
like
to follow.
Midway through was just like, you know, they're not giving me creative freedom. I don't even want to finish this, but I have a contract with them, so let's just put something out.
You can tell that's what it looked like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I hope that if they ever do reintroduce Fantastic Four, like they do it justice. Like it is a really important storyline to put into the MCU. Like, and it's gonna be cool if they do combine like the Fox merger with Marvel. Like we could finally get to see some X-Men and like all that stuff, because they kind of did with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver whenever Avengers Age of Ultron came out. It was starting to bring in the mutant aspect of it, so it was really cool to tie into that. Even though he got riddled with bullets for no reason.
Don't make sense, right?
Yeah, like if you look at, was it Apocalypse, where he's like running through the mansion and doing all that
blowing up while he's running through and saving everybody?
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Like he even ate a slice of pizza and he had still enough time.
So
Yeah.
it's just so hard to follow because there's so in the Marvel universe there's so many different creators and they all take it their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to follow one big thing.
Because it's weird because like the MCU with the Avengers, like every movie that's come out has been fairly good. Like there's been a couple hit and misses, you know, throughout, you know, the years that it's been out, but other than that, like whenever we compare like Marvel and DC, everyone's like, oh yeah, Marvel movies top it. Of course, DC, they got their footing, I believe, with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Like those are two movies where I could say like they got their footing. Now they need to base the rest of the stuff on that type of foundation.
Yeah.
And hopefully Shazam can go more into the whole like cartoony comic book aspect of it, to where it's not taking itself too seriously, but still can be like entertaining, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, that's gonna be all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. As always, please make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.